Being fully blind, your circadian rhythm can be completely thrown off. These are some different ways that we tried to help Jensen with his sleep. In the beginning, we weren't sure if Jensen had a little bit of light perception, so we put on a red light in his room, like a red night light, because red lights release melatonin naturally, while blue lights are literally one of the worst color lights you can have. Jensen has a sound machine in his bedroom. At night, we would play white noise, while during the day, we would do one of the musical instrument noises. We were hoping that this would help him distinguish what was nighttime and what was daytime. We've looked into checking Jensen's eye pressures because sometimes if they're too high or low, it can cause discomfort, typically more if it's too high. And we didn't know if maybe like laying down at night changed his eye pressures, but that was always checked out. Then we tried swaddling Jensen. He would fight us a bit when we were putting him in that, but he calmed down pretty fast, especially after we were holding him. He would fall asleep, and then we would lay him down in bed and loosen his swaddle. Around this time, he was also undiagnosed with some ear infections. They were just ongoing for months, and so I think the pressure of him laying down caused him to wake up pretty easily. So our physical therapist loaned us a little chair that we were able to keep him swaddled in and keep him upright, which helped his sleep and made him a little bit more happy. Around this time, we were also given the okay to give him melatonin. It did help him get to sleep, but it didn't really keep him asleep. Over time, we did increase that, but in the end, it ended up working in the reverse effect, which we had no idea could happen. At this point, we figured out that his ears were causing him problems, so we did get ear tubes placed. Around the same time, we then started a different sleep medication. It's actually an antidepressant, but is more commonly used for sleep. Worked beautifully for a couple months until Jensen started getting some side effects with behavioral issues. Sometime in between all of that chaos, we noticed that Jensen would twitch a lot when he was sleeping. We would have to get up with him, maybe because he was crying, but then he would be twitching in our arms, and that was if he was asleep or awake. We found out that he has low iron, and then we had a sleep study that recorded all of his limb movements, and they discovered that he does have apnea. So then we were scheduled to get his tonsils out. Side note, some part in this chaos, we had him in his crib, and then we even tried the pack and play, because we're like, maybe he just needs a different environment. And then we moved to a big boy bed, and then we put these rails around it until he figured out how to climb out. So then we put a tent bed around the rails of this bed, which worked amazingly. He loved it. And with the combination of him loving his bed, getting his ear tubes, and getting his tonsils out, he did so much better with his sleep. We were no longer on that sleep medication as well. But eventually he got too big for his tent bed, and he was getting way too smart because he knew when we would zip him up in there that we were going to be leaving him for the night. And or we would get him to sleep, put him down, and then start to zip him up and he would wake up. So we decided to move him to the smaller room in the house and make it as toddler-proof as possible. This has absolutely been the best decision we've made with him, as he loves his room. It is his safe haven. He will sometimes even leave us in the living room to go into his room and play on his own.